are not with us. Y feliz lunes y bienvenidos, bienvenidas. Bueno, hoy es una combinación de muchas cosas. Aquí viene Trish, muy bien. Y vamos a empezar. We're going to begin with something light and easy, and it's all in English, sadly, but it's in English for a really good reason. This is a housekeeping thing. Y no es eso. ¿Dónde está? Okay. This is a housekeeping thing, just to remind you, because pretty soon there's going to be an update required on Zoom. So I just want people to look at, and this is really super short. It's just going to be showing you how you look for an update on Zoom. That's all it does. So I'm going to show this so that you know. November 1st, Zoom will start to, I don't know, enforce. It'll become important that you have the most recent update of Zoom. You know, they're doing a thing where they're trying to update things, I think, every 6 or 9 months. So I do want to just show you, if you don't know how to check, and usually it will signal you, but if you don't use Zoom a lot, you may not know it's there, or why do I have this? So we're just going to watch this real quickly so that you know what to do, because November 1st is going to be like that 9-month thing they're going to start, where you need to have an updated version of Zoom. So let's just take a real quick look at housekeeping. Nothing more, nada más.
Option 1. If Zoom has released a mandatory update, you will receive a pop-up or a bar on your client.
So where they're pointing up there, that's where you're most likely to see it. It'll be a little bar. Okay, and it'll say update available. So here's the thing I want to tell you, because you may not realize this if you don't use computer a lot. Never, never, never update Zoom 5 minutes before class. You think it will be okay. It probably will not. So look the night before. Look Sunday night, take a quick look Sunday night, and just see that you've got the updated version, and I'll let it roll from here.
Prompting you to update. From here, review the terms and conditions and update your client. Option 2 for optional updates. Select your profile image and click check for updates.
So sometimes I do that, but usually I get a notification, but this is a different way to do it. So the little icon that you have at the top.
Then you will be prompted to update your client. Option 3. Head to the zoom.us/downloads page. Here you will find all of our latest releases, and you can download the client straight from the web. To check and see if your client is running Zoom's latest release, click your profile image and scroll to check for updates. If you are up to date, there will be no install options. So be sure to check for the latest Zoom update on your client today.
So do check that, but don't check it. Yeah, do check it Sunday night. That's what you want to do. Okay, you want to do that Sunday night so that it's all set, ready to go. Okay. Also for people, second housekeeping type thing, and this is just as a reminder because of the way this is scheduled, it can be confusing to people. I've had people who got stuck with this in the past. Because Scottsdale has fall, winter, spring, summer, people think 4 seasons, but fall, sadly, is split up into 2 sessions. So when you registered, if you registered only for 1 session, that ends like Halloween. And you have to make sure that you're registered in both sessions. So essentially in fall, you're registering for 2 sessions. Can you get your name on the fall B? I call it the fall B because it's the second half. all the classes for November and December. Absolutely, you can still sign up for that, no problem at all. You know, you could do it as late as the day before. It's not a biggie, but just as a reminder, because I go off of that list and that's where I send out all my Zoom invitations from. Because I always have some new people on the list, some people who might leave, some people who are on vacation, you know, what have you. So anyway, just a little reminder there. Okay, nada más. No other reminders. Aquí vamos. Here we go. We are going to share a really short and easy thing about errores, errors, common errors. And these are things that a lot of us, even if we're pretty darn good, we forget about with Spanish. So we're going to take a look at this really short video here to see a couple of three, I think three. Yeah, tres errores. Okay.
Hola, te voy a enseñar 3 errores súper comunes de los estudiantes de español. El primero es decir más, mejor. No.
Más mejor, more better. No. Not more better. Not in English either. That's more better. That's betterer. No.
Se dice mucho mejor. No.
Oh, and then this is one of those things that uses mucho. Mucho mejor. Much better is mucho mejor. ¿Cómo estás? Mucho mejor, mucho mejor. I'm much better. You know, say if you weren't great the last time you saw them. Mucho mejor. Okay, so you can use mejor, better, but if you want to intensify that word mejor, better, you need to have that word mucho. And we just got done with a whole list of exercises with mucho. So this is one of those words that does use mucho. Mucho mejor. And it will always be mucho with mejor. Okay, never a form of mucho, always mucho, mucho mejor. Okay.
Número 2, cuando hablamos de clima no decimos es calor.
When we talk about weather, we never say es calor. Es calor means it is heat. It is heat. Okay. What you see on the right, hace calor is okay, but es calor is not okay. And not
Se dice hace calor. Tercero, por favor, no digas es bien. Se dice está bien.
Yeah. We do not use bien.
Ahora ya lo sabes. No cometas estos 3.
Oh, that goes by so darn fast.
Está bien. Ahora ya
hasta, okay. A ver, wow. Es bien is not a thing. Es bien won't really register. That will sound out of kilter to anybody. Es bien.
Bien. Se dice está bien.
Está bien. Está bien es como decir it's okay. It's okay. Está bien. Está bien. You know, somebody does something, somebody makes a mistake and you're waving it off, no big deal. Está bien. Está bien. It's okay. Okay. Está bien. Hace calor. Yeah. Mucho mejor, much better. That's what we use for much better. Vale, muy bien. Vamos a ver. Okay. That's our little shorty for today, para hoy. Vamos a mezclar muchas cosas. We're going to mix up a lot of things because we've got lots of stuff to talk about and practice. Some of you will be coming out into practice with me. What I do want you to have handy will be your prompts. So I'm going to say this now while we talk about other stuff so that you know which page you need to have handy when we go in breakout rooms. This is the screen. And what happened? ¿Qué pasó con número 3? What happened with my number 3 question? No sé a dónde se fue. I don't know where it went. Okay, these are goal verbs that we're going to use questions and answers. So if you saved this as an extra screen, you pop up 2 screens. You may want to take time to look for that now. Or if you printed this off, you want to look for that piece of paper now before we get to the go verb practice. Okay, we're going to do that in probably about 15, 20 minutes. Vale, magnífico. Bueno, ¿alguna pregunta? Any question about anything you did in practice or reading that came up this week? Any odd question? Well, not odd, but question maybe not related to homework necessarily, but something that came up that's like, I don't know what that was, or you did some reading. I don't know what the structure is. Algo o nada. And I think everybody is on mute, so you probably want to take yourselves off of mute. Okay. Nada, nothing. Okay.
A pronunciation question
Sí, dime.
from the perfect cognates list.
And we're going to start with that when you're done. So this is perfect. Sí.
Oh, okay. Agenda. How do you pronounce it? Is it?
Oh, qué buena pregunta. Well, that GE is a GE. And GE in Spanish will not get the g sound. It will get the h sound. It's the same as the J, the J letter. So it'll sound like agenda.
Okay, agenda.
It will not
Okay.
be agenda. It will be agenda.
Okay.
You would use, typically you would use the word agenda to talk about like your schedule. If you have a travel schedule,
Mhm.
or, a checklist of things that you need to do or you're planning on doing. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna, see.
And just a couple others on the first page. Balance. Would that be like balance?
Balance. We're going to take a look at something. See, balance. So
Okay.
some of them are spelled exactly the same, but remember, except for that letter H, which is always silent, you're going to pronounce every letter. So we're going to take a look at some of the things on this list, not everything, porque es una lista enorme, es una lista muy larga, es larguísima, it is super long. But we're going to look at things and kind of reinforce some words where, just like you asked about, Jeff, that word agenda, where it's going to be, oh, wait a minute, it's spelled the same, but you pronounce it differently. Or we're going to emphasize words that, hey, here are words that you will typically maybe want to use or need to listen for when you're speaking with people. Okay. Things that are either in common, and I'm pointing out, here are good words to know, or, oh, watch out, this one will be spelled the same, but it's not going to sound the same. You'll pronounce it differently. And we're going to practice a few of those together. Vale la pena. This is worth the effort. Well, actor is not really, but let's look at no se pronuncia. You do not pronounce it. No se pronuncia. Admirable, admirable, admirables. So there's an example. I'm not sure that's one that you would need a lot, but agenda, right? Alcohol. 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 You may actually need as a traveler because, people either can or cannot have alcohol. So that one is tricky because look, we've got that H, the H, we have to ignore that. And we've got a double O. The double O will not be like pool, cool. It'll be O. O, drawn out. Alcohol. Alcohol. If you want something, let's say they put alcohol in addition, you do not want it in there. You want to say with no alcohol. You use this word without, and the word without is sin. S-I-N. It does not mean sin. It means without. Sin. Sin alcohol, por favor. Sin alcohol, por favor. Okay, bien. Animal. Area. This is pronounced area. Area. Area does mean an area. Area. Here are other words you may hear for an area. You may hear the word zona. Z-O-N-A, zona. Zona also means an area, a zone, as you would think, una zona. People will know what that word means. Artificial, artificial.
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 We want to say a sh. There's no sh. Artificial. That word balance will sound like that. Balance, balance. Bar, fácil. Wow, that one's easy. Okay. This word here, you may hear as really slang. It can mean brutal, but brutal in slang will be more like awesome with very young people, brutal. Okay, but it can also have that meaning that we think of, right? Here's
the
a
one
word.
before. It's like base. You say base?
Base.
Okay.
Base, la base, see? We've got cable. You may need this, you may need to buy a cable you forgot when you travel. We all need cables. We all need cables to connect our phones and charge our stuff up, right? So, cable. 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 You need to pronounce the E at the end. Cable. Cable. Okay? Cable. I'm going to look at things that are kind of common. Oh, this one really needs an accent, right? Oh, you know what? I'm highlighting the wrong side. Here's the Spanish side. I didn't look at the top. Cartón. 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 Carton. Cartón is like cardboard. Anything made out of cardboard, they call cartón. Cartón. Okay. This is a really common word for people to need and use. Central. Central. See? Central. Central.
Central.
I don't know that any of you are actually going to use a check.
Cheque.
This used to be a word we needed, cheque. Cheque. Do know that very young people in the 20-somethings in Mexico use chequear. It is a word they have borrowed from English when they say, hey, check this out. So if they're pointing something out, like if it's a 20-something, oh, chequea ese, chequea ese, check that out. You do know that that is one of those words in very much slang that some very young people have borrowed from English, that they'll use it and they will use it to say, check it out. So actually, you do hear it a lot when somebody's pointing something out. Hey, check that out. Check it. Check it. Okay. Chocolate, chocolate. But this vale la pena. This is right. It's not chocolate. Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Chocolate.
Okay.
Chocolate. Okay. A ver. And let's take a look down to control. Control.
Control.
Control.
Criminal.
Control. We've got lots of words that, okay, cultural. You may hear people using that if you go on a tour. Cultural. 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 Bien. Here's the word for decision. Decisión. Decisión. I want to point this out because in English, you make a decision, right? They do not say make a decision in Spanish. Okay. Make is hacer. It's one of those go verbs. Okay. If you say make a decision, they use tomar with that word decisión. Tomar una decisión means to make a decision. tomar tomar. The same tomar we use for eat and drink. That same tomar, that means to take something. They use this with decisión to say make a decision. Tomar una decisión. They do not use hacer with that. Okay. A ver, vamos aquí. División, doctor, drama, durable. Are you likely to use that? Maybe not. This one here, error.
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 Error. Do we sometimes need this when we travel? Yeah,
Error.
right? Right, error, error. And again, you would
Error.
think, make a mistake. We would use hacer, one of those go verbs with this, but we don't. We don't use hacer with error, make an error. We use cometer, commit, cometer un error. So, no quiero, I don't want. No quiero cometer un error. I do not want to make a mistake. No quiero, I don't want. No quiero cometer un error. Error es útil. That's useful. Okay. This is a word that could be helpful. Exterior. 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 Outside, the exterior of a building. You know, el exterior. Outside. Okay. Familiar, I want to point out because it is a cognate, but in other ways it is not. Familiar, familiar, yeah, okay, but you generally hear familiar used more to say this means like a family thing. Una cena familiar is a family dinner. Yeah, familiar. So that one's kind of a double-edged sword. Doesn't always mean what you think. Familiar. Una reunión familiar, a family meeting. Una reunión familiar. Okay, ¿vale? And here's a word you actually hear in conversation a lot, fatal, which, well, es obvio, ¿no? No tanto, not so much. Okay, fatal can mean fatal. It is also used in a slang type term to mean something is like absolutely the pits, lousy, terrible, awful, the worst. Okay. Somebody says, how was that tour? The tour was awful. If the tour was truly awful, the pits, fatal, fatal. Fue fatal. Wow, that thing, it was the pits. But then you really mean not just it was bad, malo. This is like worse than malo. This is like the absolute pit of hell, bottom, fatal, okay?
Mucho
Fatal,
malo.
Yeah, you can just say malo, but you know, if something was really crummy, just awful, fatal, okay? People will say that, okay? Final, obvio, final, importante. Ooh, let's try this one. Flexible.
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 Flexible, bien. We're going to go down about to the L. We're going to go down about to half of this list. You know, gas can sometimes mean what it looks like. Sometimes it refers to water. It does in Spain. I'm not sure they do that as much in Mexico. Agua con gas. This is a common thing, especially if you're in Spain. Agua con gas. It means sparkling water. It means, carbonation. Yeah, drinks with carbonation. Con gas. No carbonation in it, sin gas. Sin gas. So a common thing that I would go through, I would ask for water, you know, "Mere café, agua por favor." The next question from the waiter would be con gas o sin gas, sparkling or flat. That's what they're asking you. Okay. Let's take a look at this again because it's got the G that's not j, 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 or g, g, g. It's
General.
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 General. Se oye, you hear, se oye general. Todo el tiempo. Por lo general, generally, generalmente, generally, general, general, okay? General. This is an important word. It does not mean the kind of grave that someone is buried in. Grave means grave as in serious, extremely serious. And this would be used to talk about problems. No es grave, not so bad. You know, it's not like super bad. No es muy grave. Also to talk about health, you know, if you're sick, but if no, es grave, this is bad, right? Grave, so grave in the sense of something is serious, not good. See, es un problema muy grave. It's a serious problem. See, grave, grave. Notice they do use hobby. There's a different word for hobby, but I think this is kind of taken over in the last maybe 10, 20 years. Hobby, yeah, hobby. And they'll pronounce it hobby. That they won't pronounce it as hobby, hobby, right? Muy importante. This is the important one, these next two, because these are places we often go to. Well, we don't want to go to the first one, but ignore the H, right?
Yeah.
Ignore the H. Hospital, hospital,
Hospital.
hospital,
Hospital.
hospital. Bien, ¿sí?
Hotel.
Hotel,
Hotel.
hotel,
Hotel.
hotel. They spell it with an H, but we do not pronounce that H. So, hotel, hotel, hotel. Bien.
Idea.
Idea, idea. Oh, buena idea. Buena idea. Mala idea. Buena idea, mala idea. Bien, okay. And of course, ideal will just be based on that word. Ideal, yeah, something is ideal. Okay. Informal. 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 So you'll notice all these things that end in L's, we punch the end of the word, right? Informal, ideal, individual. This is important in hotels because a single room, if you're getting a single bed, okay, you're traveling alone, it'll be cama individual or cuarto individual. And that means a room for one. Un cuarto individual.
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 Individual, okay? Individual, informal. So you'll notice that when it ends in an L, we punch the end of the word, okay? Unless you see an accent mark written someplace else, okay? But these words that end in a vowel, like, yeah, idea, it's the second to last syllable. Well, idea is not the best one to pick for that. Maybe like this one, invisible. When you see a word ending in a vowel, we punch the second to the last, not the last syllable, but we give more emphasis to the second to the last syllable. Invisible, invisible, okay? Invisible. But informal, we punch the end. Inferior, we punch the end, okay? We punch the end there. Okay. A ver,
pronounce hobby. That was
hobby.
weird to end with a
Hobby.
Y. I
Hobby.
didn't.
Yeah, hobby. That is, I think that there was another word, pasatiempos, how you pass your time, pasatiempos, which used to be used more, but hobby seems to be taking over. I hear that more and more and more the last 10, 20 years. Didn't used to be that way, but you know, our word use changes
Yeah.
like it does in English. So, you know, that happens with them too. Of course, and here's an example. Last letter is a vowel. We punch the second to last syllable. Kilo.
Kilo.
Kilo is quite a lot, right? Kilo is
Oh.
a little over 2 pounds. So, you know, if you only want a pound of something, it's medio kilo. If you only want 1 pound. Okay, but all these things that, look at all these L words that are going to punch the last syllable. Lateral, legal, legal, liberal, local.
Local.
Bien, sí. Macho, sí, muy macho. Macho, maestro, mania. Notice here, and you probably won't need that word a lot, but it is a cognate, mania. When you see an accent mark, that's an example of how you punch the syllable that gets the accent mark, mania. Not mania, but mania.
Mania.
Mania. See? Okay, marginal, material, material. Oh, if you want to know what something is made out of, de qué material, see? Mediocre. Melon. Here's something you may want to eat, melon. Melon. Okay, and we've got to punch the last syllable there. We've got an accent mark, right? Menu. Menu. Muy importante, menu. Menu. We say menu, but it's menu. Menu. We punch the O at the end. Menu. If something is made out of metal, de metal. De metal. Metal. Right? Metal, and we punch the end there, metal. But this one, we will not punch the end because it ends in a vowel. We'll punch the second to the last syllable. Miserable. Miserable.
Miserable.
Sí. Moral, mortal, motel, motor, motor. Motor. Motor, your engine, motor. See? If you heard people talk about municipal, it'll be pronounced municipal. Municipal. See? Musical. Musical. And we're going to stop there and take the bottom half for next week. But just pointing out maybe which ones may be more useful than others. Yeah? Okay.
I have a question.
Sí, dime.
You know, it's to make, you say that to make a decision and then to make a mistake, you use a different thing. You don't use hacer.
Tomar
In this
una
case, you say
decisión.
cometer, tomar. So what about if you wanted to say, oh, make a good decision, like make a good choice, for example. So do I have to use tomar una buena opción?
Quiero tomar una buena
Opción.
decisión.
Okay. So tomar. So you use tomar there.
Tomar, sí, exacto.
What about to make someone's feeling like happy, to make me happy?
Oh, that may do different things. Okay, so here's the easiest one that we'll use hacer, okay? And the reason they use different things is they may use it as a reflexive verb. They may use it as, I'm going to take the obvious because we're using these go verbs this week.
Okay.
So that thing, eso me hace feliz. It makes me happy. Me hace feliz. It makes me happy. Me hace feliz.
Me hace feliz. Okay.
If your children make you happy and you got more than one child, mis hijos me hacen feliz. Me hacen feliz. To
Okay.
me, they make happiness, right?
Okay.
Me hacen feliz. Bien. Me hacen reír. They make me laugh. You will hear people using hace in some cases, but there are different ways they may throw that idea out at you. There's more than one way to express that. Okay. A ver, buena pregunta.
Gracias.
De nada, de nada. Okay, I want to take a quick look again at muy and mucho, so you'll know why you missed what you did if you missed something. Ooh, and a ver. You won't hear the little music with it, but that's okay in this particular situation. So we're going to point out if you missed something, why you missed what you did. And this is a good little review. We looked at muy and mucho and never the twain shall meet. You know, they're separate words. We use them in different situations. And this one, actually, I had a few people who did miss it. Oh, this doesn't let me highlight. We're looking at this word miedo. Miedo means fear.
Scared.
Right. And this is one of the things, tener has many idioms, meaning we use tener, you cannot translate this literally. People have hunger, have fear, have thirst, have luck, have right, like right is on your side. Somebody's right about something. In Spanish, those ideas and some others are expressed with the verb tener. You have it, okay. You are not right, you have right on your side, okay. You are not scared, you have fear. That's just the way they express it. But the point is, if you want to say they're very scared, you're really saying they have much fear. So we have to look at miedo. Miedo, oh, we need to decide. We cannot use muy with this, first of all. We do say very scared in English. So you would think it should be muy, but we cannot use muy here because miedo is a noun. Okay, so miedo ends in an O. We know it's masculine, so the word we need to pick is
Mucho.
mucho. We need to put in mucho miedo. Los niños tienen mucho miedo de los monstruos. Little kids have much fear of monsters in a horror movie, en la película de horror. Okay. Tienen mucho miedo. They have much fear. This is just an idiomatic use, and we're really not saying they're very scared. We would say that in English, but they have much fear. And that word fear, miedo, is a noun. That's why we have to have mucho next to it. Okay? You couldn't say very fear, much fear. It's just the way this structure works. Okay. El político es un hombre ambicioso. He is an ambitious man. We want to say he is very ambitious.
Muy.
Y se presenta como candidato. He's running. He's running because it's not this kind of running. Correr. No. It's running in an election. Se presenta como candidato. So we are taking ambicioso, ambitious, and that is not like miedo, right?
Muy.
Yeah, we need muy ambicioso, right?
Muy
When I am
ambicioso.
taking a description and bumping it up to very, we have to make it muy ambicioso, not mucho ambicioso. I know ambicioso is masculine, but ambicioso, ambitious is an adjective. Okay. No entiendo ni una palabra. I don't understand even a single word. No entiendo ni una palabra. I don't understand anything. Los mexicanos hablan
Muy
Muy
rápidamente.
muy rápidamente. Again, I'm describing how they do something. When I described how ambitious, it was muy ambicioso. When I described how fast, it's muy rápidamente. And by the way, people may use rápido instead of rápidamente. That is okay. Either way is good. Okay. Voy a memorizar. Voy a memorizar. Palabras. Palabras are words. Words are not a description, they're things.
Muchas.
Muchas palabras.
That's why, and because this is a noun, a thing, we need muchas, a feminine plural for a feminine plural thing. Muchas palabras. Voy a memorizar muchas palabras. Cuando como en un restaurante, siempre como. When I eat at a restaurant, I always eat
Mucho.
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 a lot. When I'm saying
Mucho.
how much I eat,
Como
mucho,
mucho.
yeah. When I am using this to talk about I do this a lot, it goes to that form, mucho. Como mucho. Como mucho, bebo mucho, corro
Tengo.
mucho, camino mucho, hablo mucho. I do this thing a lot, frequently.
So
Okay.
it doesn't go with the food, lots of foods. It's not
No,
plural.
no.
It's
If
what
you
you're
mean a
good with
lot
the
of
verb.
food, then it's mucha comida.
Okay.
Muchas
But
croquetas.
there, it was modifying, and I'm sorry, it
Comida.
doesn't let me, oh yeah, it does let me go back. It does
No,
let
it's
me go back.
okay. It's okay.
Como I eat a lot. I
Okay.
eat a lot. A lot is talking about how much you eat. When we
Okay.
talk about how much you do something, it's mucho and just
Okay.
mucho, right? Not feminine, not masculine, any of those. Okay. A ver. I've got lots of questions. Preguntas are questions.
Muchas.
Muchas.
Muchas preguntas
Muchas
is a
preguntas.
feminine thing. It is a thing. A question is a thing.
Sobre dar.
It's plural. Tengo muchas preguntas sobre dar. I got lots of questions about the word dar, to give. ¿Sí? Bien. Vale, magnífico. Okay. A ver. Oh, we're very happy. Contentos.
Muy.
We're talking about contentos, happy. That is a condition, a description.
Muy.
Muy.
Estamos muy contentos
El
que llega
otoño.
el otoño. We're very happy that autumn is coming, has arrived. Los meseros, that's word for waiter. You might hear camareros, you might hear meseros, people who wait on tables, meseros. The word mesa is buried in there. People who work at a table are meseros. ERO tells you an occupation.
Trabajan
Or
en
somebody who
los
does that thing that's in the
restaurantes
first
de
half of the word, right?
Sí.
And a mesa is a table. Well, people who work at tables are waiters. Los meseros que trabajan en el restaurante, the waiters that work in the restaurant are very attentive.
Muy.
Son atentos.
Muy.
Muy.
atentos.
We're describing how they are. Atentos, muy atentos, very attentive. Attentive is a description, not a thing, a description. So we use muy. Muy with descriptions. Mucho or its variations with things. Hay chicos en el parque. There are lots of kids in the park.
Muchos.
Muchos.
We're
Muchos.
talking about a thing, kids. Hay muchos chicos, masculino, plural. Hay muchos chicos en el parque. Bien, vale. Bien, 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 bien.
Trabajo.
Yeah.
Mucho.
I work a lot on Mondays.
Trabajo
Mucho.
mucho los
Mucho.
lunes.
Boom, 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 boom. I work. When we talk about an action, we need a singular
Mucho.
word. We're talking about how much I do this thing of work. Trabajo mucho. I work a lot. Trabajo mucho. Again, with trabajo, a verb, an action, how much I do something, we need just mucho by itself. Mucho. Okay? Not all the variations of mucho. It wouldn't be muchos. We don't look at this word lunes. Los lunes means on Mondays, all of them.
I missed that one. I know. I thought.
Okay, and you might have been looking at that and thinking, on Mondays. Oh, Mondays is plural, but I don't work lots of Mondays. Los lunes already says every Monday.
Mm,
Los lunes says every Monday. So that means no exceptions, right? Not on Monday, one Monday, but all Mondays. And so this is saying I work a lot. It's talking about how much I work. When we use a lot to talk about actions, activities with a verb, it's mucho by itself. Trabajo mucho los lunes, pero
he's
no
not
tanto.
lazy on Mondays.
Yeah.
He works.
pero no tanto los viernes, but not so much on Fridays. ¿Eh? Pero no tanto, not so much, ¿ok? Mucho los lunes. Ok, a ver. Son las 6 de la tarde. It's 6
No
p.m.
hay nada en la frigider.
And notice,
Tengo
we use de la tarde to talk about a clock time.
Right.
Son las 6 de la tarde, pero no hay nada en el refrigerador. There's nothing in the fridge. And this one you might have missed because, again, we got problem number 1. It's a tener idiom. I have hunger. So unlike in English where we say I am very hungry, this will not be a very because you're saying I have a lot of hunger.
mucho.
And so problem number 1 is hambre is a noun. See, it is not
Mucho.
hungry, it is hunger. And the second problem is, wait a minute, what gender is hambre?
Feminine.
It's feminine.
Feminine.
You just need to know.
Mucho.
There is no
Mucho.
way that that is spelled that helps you know that. You just need to know that hambre is mucha hambre.
mucha
Now, this
hambre.
is super useful because you may want to tell somebody, no tengo mucha hambre, I'm not very hungry. Tengo mucha hambre, I'm very hungry, right? But we use it as I have much hunger. Tengo mucha hambre.
And that
Mucha
doesn't
hambre.
go with tango. It's not mucho with the tango.
Hambre.
Because hambre is on now. Okay, I have much hunger. This, okay, yeah, we would not choose mucho.
Yeah, this is confusing.
Okay, and I see why.
Right.
You saw trabajo mucho. You
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
I work a lot. But this is looking at the word hunger.
Hambre.
You just have to know it means very, we're intensifying hungry
Okay.
that I have. Okay. We're not saying I'm always hungry. Siempre tengo.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, this looks at the noun.
Wait, what is this is because this is the feminine, you say, because it's hambre?
Because hambre is a feminine word.
Oh, what about
Hunger.
the masculine one? What is it called?
The
If it's
masculine
a
one.
mask, so there's
Oh,
nothing.
Okay,
It's
so
it's just feminine. This is the
the
hambre.
word hambre is feminine.
Okay.
Let's look back, way back to number 1. Miedo, fear, is a masculine word. So it's
Mucho.
tener mucho miedo.
Right.
Tener has various idiomatic uses, meaning uses that you can't translate word for word because they don't make any sense if you translate it word for word. We don't express this idea in English with the kids have much fear. English doesn't use they have much fear. Would you understand what somebody meant if they said, oh, they have a lot of fear? Of course you would know what they meant, but we don't say it that way in English, okay?
This one is a little bit easier to know because miedo, you know, it's a end with O, but hambre is kind of
Hambre,
hard. It's
yeah.
a feminine, masculine because it's
just-
not N with A, but with E.
Right. There is no clue in the
Right.
spelling. that
So that's
tells
why
you
I got
that.
it wrong too.
That's what, but
Nora,
see-
you're not alone.
but see now, here's the thing. I picked these because these are phrases that people often will use when they just chit chat with people. Okay, and yeah, to say that you're hungry is a common thing for tourists to need to know. Or the waiter may say, "Are you hungry today?" Right? So you'll hear this a lot because people talk a lot about whether or not they're hungry, because people in a normal day talk a lot about whether they're thirsty. So I picked things that we are very frequently used. Okay, but would you know that word hambre is feminine? You have to know it.
No.
You just have to know it. So when you hear it often enough, over and over, it will
Sí.
click in. Just
Okay.
trust me, it will click in. But tengo hambre, tengo mucha hambre, tengo mucha hambre.
Hambre.
Los niños tienen mucha hambre. Esa niña siempre tiene mucha hambre. She's always hungry. Okay, mucha hambre, mucha hambre, mucha hambre.
Mucha hambre. Okay.
Mucha hambre.
Okay.
Okay. And here we got cervezas, beers. El menú de este restaurante tiene, and now it's not an idiom, they literally have
Muchas.
beers on the menu.
All right.
That's a literal use of have.
Muchas.
El menú
Muchas.
de este restaurante tiene
Muchas.
muchas cervezas. We're talking about a thing.
Cerveza.
With things, we use the variations of mucho. Muchas cervezas, cervezas, feminine and plural. Muchas cervezas, lots of beers. Okay. De todos los países, from all the countries. Okay. Siempre pierdo dinero cuando juego al póker. I always lose money when I play poker.
Tengo
That's why I
mucho.
Number one, it's a
Yeah.
tener idiom. It cannot be I have luck.
Mucho.
We say I am lucky, but they don't say that in Spanish. You have luck. Suerte. Uh-oh, I have to know masculine, feminine. You got your
Right.
50-50 chance.
Feminine.
Feminine too.
It's a feminine
Mucha.
word. Mucha suerte. No tengo mucha suerte. I don't have much luck. No tengo mucha suerte. Suerte has no clue in how it's spelled. You just need to know that suerte is luck.
Feminine. Okay.
People may, by the way, throw out suerte as like saying good luck without the word good necessarily. Buena suerte literally means good luck. You know, somebody sends you off to find something. They wish you good luck for whatever. Buena suerte, right? They might just say suerte, suerte, and they're wishing you good luck. Suerte, suerte. Okay.
I guess in English, we do say lady luck.
Would you say lady luck? There you go.
Here we go.
Lady luck.
Una pregunta on the suerte. It translates, I have not much luck, or I don't have much
Yeah, I
luck.
don't have much luck.
How would they then say, I'm not very lucky?
No tengo mucha suerte. Same way.
The same way. So they don't, it's not a word for word. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No
Tengo
tengo
mucha
mucha suerte. I'm
suerte.
not very lucky. I'm not very lucky. Although I know there are people who would say that poker involves a lot of knowledge, and they would be right.
No tengo mucha suerte.
Okay,
Juego
mucha
al
suerte.
póker.
Okay. Necesito dinero. I need a thing. This isn't a description. I need this thing, dinero. Necesito dinero para reparar mi carro. I need lots of money to fix my
Mucho
car.
dinero para-
Mucho dinero.
Mucho.
Most people got this. Dinero is a masculine thing. Mucho dinero. Muy bien. Y por fin, at last.
Lección.
La lección es
Muy difícil.
difícil.
Muy
Difícil is a description. It is not a thing. Hard, difficult is not a thing. It's a description. So we need this
Muy
all-purpose
difícil.
word. And remember, muy never gets a different form. It's always muy. It never changes to a feminine thing, you know, it's just muy. La lección es muy difícil, muy difícil. Muy bien. Okay. Malik.
Okay.
Bien, 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 bien.
Okay, now we
Okay.
know suerte and hambre es mucha.
Now you know they're mucha. There you go. And so that's why we reviewed that, because actually, especially that word hambre, and actually sed too, thirsty. La sed, mucha sed. Tengo mucha sed. Okay, so yeah, those words, sadly, you just have to know what they are. And it comes from hearing people use it more, from reading it, from hearing it. That is where that comes from. Okay. Muy natural. Okay. A ver, we're going to, alguna pregunta. Any question before we leave the muy and mucho? Leave the muy and mucho. Okay.
Está bien.
Sí, Cindy.
Está bien.
Está bien. Está bien. That's okay. Está bien. Okay. I will probably send another little mix it up thing this week for you with this word wall, where I'll just grab some, you know, it'll just be here and there. Just put the words in order. And I'm not going to make them excruciatingly long. I'm just going to be looking for, can you get the words in the right order? You know, a subject, a verb, and an object, or a subject, a verb, and when you do it, or, you know, something like that. Okay. All right. On to go verbs. On to the interesting topic of go verbs. And we're going to take a little sideline here. And when I use go verbs, actually, it's going to be more than just go. I know it's, what I'm really talking about is that there are many, many verbs that are irregular, mainly just in the yo, but they do the normal conjugations in the other forms. And why would you want to know that? Well, because often you need to use the I form. Okay, they will not all be go. Some of them look like this too. This is just a little reminder. They may not be go verbs, but they may still be irregular just for yo, but they follow the forms in the other conjugations. Okay. Also, whenever you hear a verb given as a command, like bring something, you tell somebody, you tell a waiter, bring me that, please bring me a fork. You know, you dropped yours, bring me a fork, please. You'll hear those yo verbs with a little change at the end. We make commands out of the yo form eventually. So they're going to sound like that go thing when you hear it as a command. So there are a couple of reasons we look at these verbs, and also they're commonly used words. Okay, so these ones, even though they don't have go, are go verbs. So, you know, just so that you know, these are kind of outliers here. Veo, I see. Sé, I know, a fact. When you know information, just straight info, or when you know how to do something, it's saber. Okay, but saber goes into its your form with sé. Why did it do that? I have no idea. It just did. Okay, but the other forms are going to be what you think they should be for an ER verb. Yeah. So, you know, ver just keeps the E for the yo verb, veo, but ves, ve, vemos, ves, ven. Okay. Saber, to know facts or to know how to do a certain activity, will be sé, sabes, sabe, sabemos, sabes in Spain, saben, right? Savoir in français, you know, French has that same thing. They've got two different verbs for knowing people and knowing things. So saber is used for knowing facts or knowing how to do stuff. Conocer is used for knowing people or being familiar with a place. Okay, and saber gets, or I'm sorry, conocer gets an odd form for the yo form. Conozco, right? Conozco, but conoces, conoce, conocemos, conocen. It does what you think it should with the other forms. So These are also in the odd yo categories, even though they're not the go verbs, okay? But the ones we're going to practice with mainly are going to be these kinds of verbs, right? Go verbs, things that get a go in the yo form. So we've got hacer, to make or do, hago, hago. But then the other forms son normales, they're normal. Haces, hace, hacemos, hacen. Yeah. But hago for yo. Salir, to leave, to go out. And we're going to talk about that in a minute before you start your practice, because we have something special to say about salir. Salir, salgo, salgo. Salgo can be translated both as to leave a place, or to leave for a place, or to go out. Whether you're going out with friends or going out with a boyfriend or girlfriend, it's salir, salir, okay? Think of Sally Forth, okay? Poner, poner, to put something in a place, okay? Poner. To set something down is poner. And it, for the yo form, gets pongo, 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 G-O, but no G in the other forms. Pones, pone, ponemos, pones only in Spain, ponen. Okay? A lot of your prompts are using these three verbs. There are other go verbs. There are some other ones here. So we're going to take a look at a few others. And the tener one, you know from before, because tener is one of the most used words in the language. So para que sepan, just so that you know, these are other verbs that get go. Now, get go forms for the yo. We're not going to use all of these on this slide today. Next week, we'll use these more. Okay, next week, the prompts will be using these. I've segmented these off so that you don't get a whole big glob all at once. But so that you know, other go verbs are verbs like bring. You ask somebody to bring you something in a restaurant. Traigo is the yo form. But the other forms are normal. Traes, trae, traemos, traen. So here's the thing I want you to know about this word traigo. Es importante. This is important. You'll need to know that that traigo is there for the yo form, because when you ask a waiter, bring me a fork, you know, you dropped yours. This is the verb you're going to use, or that you may choose to use. But you need to give it as a command, right? Bring me a fork. You're not saying I'm bringing a fork. You need the waiter to bring you a fork, right? So to make it into a command, it's going to sound like traigo. To make it into a command, that traigo word is going to change the O at the end to an A sound. Traiga. Traiga. This is why this word is important. If you want to tell somebody, bring something to me, it's traiga, but an A at the end instead of an O. The command form is built on that yo form. So if you hear it as traiga, it doesn't mean I'm doing it. It's a command. You're telling somebody, hey, bring me this item, please. Traiga. Bien? Okay. So that.
So, but you can say me trae as well. Me trae.
Tráigame. Tráigame.
Oh, tráigame.
Bring me. Yeah. Bring me becomes tráigame. Tráigame, por favor. Tráigame, por favor, otro tenedor. You need to sign for something. Tráigame una pluma, por favor. You don't have a pen with you? That happens. Tráigame una pluma, por favor. Bien? Okay.
And then Duolingo has just been introducing that to me, and they say puedo traer.
Puede, and that is a way of combining two verbs. instead of saying bring me, tráigame, if you want to soft pedal it, you say, can you bring me? Puede traerme. Can you bring me? Which makes
Because
it
I haven't got
sound,
to commands yet. That's,
yeah, that makes it sound a little bit more polite. Yeah,
Correct.
okay.
Okay.
Right, magnifico. And then we're going to take a look next week at the digo, the tengo, the vengo, the oigo, all of those, okay? So we're going to look at all of those forms in a bit. Right now, ahora, we're going to put people off into groups. I'm going to go off with the people who are somewhat newer. Oh, Dios mío. I need to go the exact opposite way. So now you need your cheat sheet here. Oh, we did put venir in here too. Venir, vengo. Vengo means to come, okay? So I want you to use those prompts and practice asking the question as it's written with your partners and take turns answering that. Está bien? Is that good? I'm gonna go in the room that is created with the new folks. Bien, everybody got that handy now? See? Okay. A ver. Muy bien. I'm gonna create some groups. Oh, it did this again.
Rosales de casa.
Okay.
What is the third one? Is the salary? There is no question on that. So it's just
There
two?
is no question. I don't know what happened to that. I am,
Okay.
so that it's a non-issue. It's a non-issue for you. Okay. I am trying to get people who are brand new into the right group, which I will go out to help them with these a little bit more. Un momentito. Perdón.
¿A qué hora
And
vienes?
I need to, sorry, this is taking a little bit
When?
of time for me to get
Okay.
people
Right, what time
segmented
you coming?
off.
Aquí.
Okay, I think this is a good spread. Okay, open on up, and I will be coming in with the new folks. And you need to hit your join buttons. Okay, fantástico. Aquí estamos. Here we are. Make sure you take yourselves off of mute. And vamos a practicar. We're going to do some practice with these. Uy, a ver. Take myself off of full screen so I can bring up my prompts so I can see them. Okay, I'm going to start off. I will just throw this out and whoever wants to answer it. ¿A qué hora? We need a time. ¿A qué hora sales de casa todos los días? Every day. We're talking about what time you leave the house. ¿A qué hora sales de casa todos los días? Who wants to take that one?
A las 8:30.
Okay, a las 8:30, that works. It works to just given a las 8:30. Now let's add in the verb. ¿Cómo se dice I leave at 8:30? You just need the one word, I leave.
Yo salgo.
Salgo.
Ah.
Now let's piece it together. I leave at 8:30.
Salgo a las 8:30.
Salgo a las 8:30. Now, do we often answer with just a las 8:30? Yes, but I want you to add in the go verb, okay? Because these are all going to be questions. Well, they're not all, but a lot of them are going to be questions that ask about you. ¿A qué hora sales? Salgo. Salgo a las 8:30. ¿A dónde sales los sábados? Where do you go on Saturdays? ¿A dónde? To where? So you want to name a place. I go to boom, whatever. ¿A dónde sales los sábados?
You say yo or just salgo
Just
en
salgo.
supermercado.
Salgo al supermercado. Bien,
Sábados.
está bien. Salgo al supermercado. Let's get a different place from somebody besides supermercado.
Salgo al parque.
Salgo al parque. Muy bien. Salgo al parque. Vale. Different place?
Salgo a una clase del arte.
Ok. Bien. Salgo a una clase de arte. And she's telling what kind of class. Salgo a una clase de arte. I go to an art class. Muy bien. Ok. Entienden. Right? Salgo. I go. I go out. I leave. Salgo. Salgo. And we're just adding different information. ¿A dónde? We're naming a place. ¿A dónde?
Pregunta.
Sí, sí, dime.
Do you need to add the yo or is it optional?
Yo is totally optional. You will not hear most people say yo.
Okay.
And if they do, it means they're making it more emphatic. Like you say, oh, I go to art class. Okay. Yo
Sí.
salgo. Yo salgo. That makes it emphatic. But most people just say salgo. And most people will drop the yo every time. Okay. Venir is to come. Venir is conjugated a lot like tener. They look almost exactly alike, except one has a V and one has a T, okay? Venir means to come. Venir. Vengo is going to be the job one. Vengo, I come to a place. Or maybe we're talking about the time, like in this cuatro. ¿A qué hora vienes a una fiesta? What time do you typically come to a party? We want something typical. ¿A qué hora vienes? What time are you coming? So we're going to start with I'm coming. Perdón, sí, Mary.
So vengo una fiesta a las 6.
Bien. Vengo a las 6. Vengo a las 6. I'm coming at 6, right? Vengo a las 6. Vengo can mean I am coming right now. It can mean I am coming in the very near future, okay? As in this idea of, well, oh, I'll be there, right? Shortly. Vengo a las 6. Muy bien. Vengo a las 7. Vengo a las 8. Vengo a las 10.
Can you say
Vengo.
vengo a las 8 puntual?
Oh, on the dot?
Yeah. Yes.
Which won't,
Sí.
which won't happen a lot in Spanish-speaking countries. But if you do want to say that, there is a way to say it. Ocho en punto. En punto. En punto. Punto is a period. En punto, on the dot. Okay, so if you want to say 8 exactly, vengo a las 8 en punto. Vengo a las 7 en punto. Bien? Okay.
Marilyn,
Buena pregunta. Sí, Roger.
Is the punto P-U-N-T-O?
P-U-N-T-O, punto. Punto is
That means
literally,
kind of pronto.
no, pronto is soon. Real general, meaning it's coming up, but we're not being specific, right? But punto means on the dot. En punto, on the dot. Literally, it means on the dot. En punto. En punto. A las 8 en punto, a las 9 en punto, a las 10 en punto. On the dot. People may use en punto, especially if they're talking about when a train leaves you know, when something that runs on a specific schedule leaves, you may hear that more frequently. Okay. We've got, we had a qué hora vienes a una fiesta. ¿Qué días? What days? ¿Qué días vienes a trabajar? What days do you come to work? ¿Qué días vienes a trabajar? What days do you come to work?
Vengo a trabajar el jueves.
Bien. Vengo a trabajar el jueves. And then it means one Wednesday. How would we change that up just a tiny bit to say every Wednesday? We do something with that word el. Vengo a trabajar el miércoles.
Los miércoles.
Los miércoles. If you mean every single Wednesday, you just change the el miércoles to los miércoles. Okay?
Okay.
Just so you know. Okay. Por ejemplo, vengo a trabajar los lunes, los martes, los miércoles y los jueves. No vengo a trabajar los viernes. No vengo a trabajar los viernes. ¿Entienden? Does it make sense?
Yo nunca trabajar.
Nunca los viernes. Never on Fridays. Hay una razón. There is a reason for that, but I'm not going to get into the weeds. Okay. ¿Quiénes vienen a visitar durante la Navidad? Who's coming to visit during that season, during Christmas season? Durante la Navidad. ¿Quiénes vienen a visitar? And here we're not going to use a go, because I'm not asking about you in this one. I'm asking about other people who are coming, right? So that verb is going to stay the same because I'm talking about other people. And when I answer, I'm still talking about other people. So the verb will stay the same. We want a who group. We want a more than one person. Who? ¿Quiénes vienen a visitar? Por example, I could say, mi hijo y sus amigos. Mi hijo y sus amigos vienen a visitar. Okay? A different idea from you guys. ¿Quiénes vienen a visitar?
Mi familia vienen a visitar durante la Navidad.
Okay, mi familia viene a visitar. Mi familia viene a visitar. Okay. Todos mis hijos vienen a visitar. Mis hermanos vienen a visitar. Mis nietos, grandkids, mis nietos vienen a visitar. ¿Ok? ¿Bien? ¿Make sense?
Mis amigas de Idaho vienen
a visitar. Perfecto.
Vienen a visitar.
Perfecto. Mis amigos de Idaho vienen a visitar. Perfecto. Perfecto. Muy bien. Ok. Vale. Bueno, let's take a look at poner. Poner means you're putting a thing in a place somewhere. On top of something. You're putting something away. Okay? Poner. Pongo is the yo form we're going to want for talking using poner. ¿Qué pones en el refrigerador? And you can use la nevera. There are different words they use for refrigerator. It's a regional thing. ¿Qué pones en la nevera or qué pones en el refrigerador? And you don't have to list everything, but something. Por ejemplo, pongo la crema. Pongo la crema en el refrigerador. Pongo la crema en la nevera. Bien. So pick a different.
Pongo el comida en la refrigerator.
La comida.
En general.
En general, sí. Pongo la comida en el refrigerador. Pongo la comida. Muy general, very general, but you can do that. Okay. ¿Qué más? What else? Yo pongo la carne en el refrigerador. I put meat in the fridge.
Pongo las manzanas en la nevera.
Exacto, pongo las manzanas. I put my apples in the fridge. Pongo las manzanas en el refrigerador. Muy bien. ¿Qué más? What else do we put in the fridge?
I had one, but it's not in the refrigerator.
Okay. Pongo, por ejemplo, pongo el queso, cheese. Pongo el queso en el refrigerador. Pongo, ¿qué más? Pongo la fruta en el refrigerador. Bien. Ok. Bien. Magnífico. How about que pones en la mesa antes de cenar, before eating? What do you put on the table? Que pones en la mesa.
Can't remember the words.
Okay. Unos ejemplos. Pongo las tazas en la mesa. Bien. Pongo los platos
Los platos.
en la mesa. Pongo las cucharas, spoons. Pongo las cucharas en la mesa. Pongo los vasos, glasses, not these kind of glasses, a drinking glass, right? Pongo los vasos en la mesa. Pongo los tenedores, forks. Pongo los tenedores en la mesa. If you want to get really fancy, pongo las flores. Sí, exacto. Pongo las flores en la mesa. Pongo la sal.
Sí, yeah.
Y pimienta, salt and pepper en la mesa. Pongo la crema y el azúcar, maybe sugar and cream.
Pongo las candles,
Velas. Velas.
¿Qué?
Velas.
Velas.
Velas. Pongo las velas, sí, exacto, muy bien. Vale, ok. Más general, ¿qué pones en tu café? What do you put in your coffee? ¿Qué pones en tu café?
Pongo en mi café.
I said the same thing.
Okay. Sí, pongo, por ejemplo, pongo leche en mi café. No pongo azúcar en mi café. No pongo azúcar en mi café.
No sugar.
Pero sí pongo leche en mi café. Bien. If you put nothing in at all, no pongo nada. No pongo nada. I don't put anything. No pongo nada en mi café. Bien. Okay. Let's take a quick. Oh, sí. Bill.
Mucho azúcar o muy azúcar.
Mucho azúcar. Bien. Azúcar, that's a thing, right? It's not saying sweet, it's saying
mucho.
sugar. Mucho, sí. El azúcar, mucho azúcar, mucho azúcar. Muy bien, fantástico. A ver, okay, let's take a quick look at hacer en hago. Hacer en hago. And, I need to keep, I've only got 2 here. So, okay, ¿Qué día haces la tarea de español? What day do you do Spanish homework? ¿Qué día haces? I do homework. And give me a day. ¿Cómo se dice?
Hago todos los días.
Ah, sí. Hago la tarea todos los días. Bien. What if you do your homework only on Saturday? ¿Cómo se dice? Hago la
Hago la-
tarea
Hago todos los sábados.
los sábados o el sábado. Sí, el sábado. Bien. Ok. ¿Qué haces los lunes? What do you do on Mondays? And you can't use hace here. You have to plug in a different verb, right? If I say, what do you do Monday? And you say you clean the bathroom, you can't say I do clean the bathroom. It's just I clean, right? Limpio. ¿Qué haces los lunes? What do you do on Mondays?
Is it voy al? Is it voy? Okay. Voy al parque a caminar?
Voy al parque a caminar. I go to the park to walk. Bien. ¿Qué haces los lunes? What else do you do on Mondays? Yo lavo la ropa. Yo lavo la ropa. I wash clothes. Lavo la ropa los lunes. Bien.
Bien.
¿Qué más? Anybody wash the dishes? Platos? Can still use lavar.
Lave los platos.
Lavo los platos. Muy
Okay.
bien. Lavo los platos. Perfecto. Ok. Bien. Ok.
How do you say, como se dice, I make breakfast?
There you are making something. So you can, yeah, well, you can use a couple of things. You can either say hago el desayuno or preparo. I think preparo is a little more common. Preparo el desayuno. I prepare because you prepare it, right? Preparo. Preparo is used for fixing food. You could use cocino if you actually cook something. You know, some people don't actually cook. Then it would just be preparo because they prepare it. Preparo el desayuno. Cocino el desayuno. Hago el desayuno. Bien. Todo bien. All good. Bien?
Hey, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna leave and bring everybody back on in.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Ooh, hola. Actually, I'm meaning to get everybody out of breakout rooms. Ooh, wow. It's doing some funky things on me. My Zoom thing. We're gonna close all the rooms. I don't know why, it bumps me into a different room. I had
Yeah,
to leave
here
my
you are.
newbie. I had to leave my newbie room. And then it doesn't bring me back to main room. It bumps me into a second room. Even though I do have it updated, but you know. Así es, so it is. We're gonna hope, okay, yes, it has everything on schedule to break that out. Okay. A ver, we've got almost everybody in. It's waiting a little bit longer. It's almost got everybody in. Ooh. Do I dare wait? See? No? Do we have everything closed? Oh, okay. Vale, bien. Oh, aquí vienen. Here they come. I knew we had one more room coming in. A ver, okay. I want to point out a couple of quick things, and I'll be sending you these screens. So it's something you don't have to write any of this down. You'll see them. Before I point that out, I just want to ask, were there any big questions, big takeaway questions from those verbs?
At some point, could we, is salgo often followed by salgo
That's what we're going to talk about really briefly next. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. That is one word that might be followed by a couple of things. So I'm going to show you this, but don't feel you must copy it down
Oh, wow.
because you're going to get this actual slide. Okay, here we go.
Salir a parada.
Here we go. Salir might be followed. Yeah, out of the ones we used today, this is one of those sticky preposition things, which isn't a big deal, but sometimes it might be. Here's the might be. Salir, to go out, right? And often we need some kind of a preposition after a verb like this, because where are you going to? Or maybe where are you leaving from? Ah, and there is the point. Salir might need an a, might need a para, might need a de. Okay, let's take a look at when. If you're talking about when you leave, you might need that a word, because that a word is telling a clock time, right? El hombre sale a... Why did I put an S in there? El hombre sale a las 5 de la tarde. El hombre sale a las 5 de la tarde. When I'm talking about when he's leaving, a time on the clock, it'll be a, because a las, right? Sale a las 5, sale a las 6, sale a las 7, whatever time it is. When we are going to use salir with a time, we need an a word. If you want to say they're leaving to go to a place and you're emphasizing the destination, you might hear people use a or same meaning, interchangeable. You might hear the word para. Okay. A meaning to, and para meaning to. When we're talking about a destination, para has many translations, but it can mean a destination. If you're emphasizing with they're leaving to go to a place, they're going to a place, you're going to either hear people using a or para, and it's pretty interchangeable. So, la familia sale a la playa. The family's going out to the beach. And we're emphasizing where they're going, not where they came from, where they're going, right? Or ellos, they, if I take them as a plural group, ellos salen para la playa. They're taking off for the beach. Para is kind of like more wide open. Oh, destination. Yeah. So you can either use a or para. It's pretty interchangeable. La familia sale a la playa. Ellos salen para la playa. They mean the same thing. Bien? So I'm emphasizing where they're going to. But if your point is where you're leaving, where the place you're leaving, then we need the word from, de. Todos salen del cine. Everybody's leaving the theater. That's not where they want to wind up. That's the movie's over, right? So if you hear de after salir, it means they're leaving that place. Then it means they're going out from the building, whatever that building is. Todos salen del cine. Everybody's going out of the theater, or everybody's leaving the theater. Los turistas salen de la iglesia. The tourists are leaving the church. They're going out of the church. De is telling you what they're leaving, the place that's behind them. Yeah? See? Okay. Vale. O, por ejemplo, I've got two opposites now. Salen al colegio. They're leaving for school, right? They're getting on the bus. That means they're leaving to go to school. Salen al colegio. I'm using al because I'm talking about where they're going to wind up. What's their destination? Salen al colegio. I could equally correctly say salen para el colegio. Same thing. A or para. Salen al colegio. But if you're exiting, I can't use a or de. Or excuse me, I can't use a or para. I need to use de. Salen del metro. They're getting off the subway. They're leaving the subway. Sí,
So in
llama.
English, we could say that you're leaving for school, but we don't do it very often. Do they do that more in Spanish? Instead of just say they're going to school?
Yeah, they're going to school. They're leaving for school. I say it's just as common. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, there's often more than one way, which is why I want you to know that you may hear a to get to a destination. You may hear para to get to a destination. People will use whatever they feel like. And you never know what they're going to feel like.
As opposed to using boy or.
Well, they may say
ba.
boy, sure, they might say boy, but they might use salir because they're going out.
Okay.
Yeah, going to school, leaving for school. You know, that's a pretty common thing. So those little slides I'm going to give you in the recap so that you can see them. What you're going to practice more, or what you're going to have prompts for next week, will be some other go verbs. I had given you the 2 videos on go verbs. I don't need to resend those, do I?
No.
No?
No.
Bien, okay, good. So I'm going to send you some new prompts for different ones, not the ones we practiced today, but we're going to revisit tener. Yeah, we're going to look at oír and traer, especially all of those kinds of verbs. We may use the yo forms, we may use, you know, some different forms. We will mix it up. I am also going to send you a link for one of those little word wall games on the go verbs to use in between. It'll be a different one, and it won't, well, I might send you 2. There are some that are pre-made that are pretty good, but I'll probably send you one that will be like mix the words up, you know, put them in the right order, they're in the wrong order, put them in the correct order to build a sentence. And that'll be most of what we're going to work on. We're going to also take a special look, look at the verb caer, which is a go verb. And why you want to know that, because it's used in a weird setting that you will not expect. Caer means to fall. So when you drop something, they may use caer. When somebody literally falls down on the ground, are you going to talk about falling down on the ground? Maybe not so much, but the other uses of dropping something, you may actually hear. Or oddly enough, caer is going to be used to say that you like somebody. Somebody falls well on you in Spanish. They fall well on you, or they don't fall so well on you. Or they even, if it's really a bad introduction and you can't stand the guy, they fall fat on you. Yeah, but you may hear people talk about that, because do we often talk about whether we like or don't like people? Yeah. And do you expect to use the verb fall to talk about liking somebody? I don't, but you may hear people using that to say, I like this person, I like you, I like your friend, yeah, I like your kids. Yeah, so we're going to look at how to build that new verb in to talk about a couple of odd ideas. ¿Todo bien? All good?
Sí.
Hey, Diane, you're blushing so much, Diane. She's blushing.
No, not really. Not really.
And I'm going to include one extra little thing, one little, another storytelling item. And this will, again, build in more vocabulary. This one I think is going to be talking about kitchen stuff. So it'll build lots of vocabulary in about, things you would typically use in the kitchen. So you're going to have a listening exercise as well. Bien?
See?
Sí.
Excelente. Entonces nos vemos. We got one more class to the end of the month. Okay, and then the next fall session will start, just so everybody knows.